What up, though? This B-Boy Reg
I'm DJ Buddy, y'all.
and this Funky Fresh in the Flesh
Flesh
podcast.
Podcast. Yes.
Yo.
We back to attack. Shout out to Ramo Visions. We see what up, though,
What up,
man.
though?
Yeah.
What up, though? So we got a lot going on since we last connected. We did some great interviews throughout the year. The year coming to an end, and
Yeah.
we've seen a lot happen since then. Stuff we didn't expect to happen with
Right.
hip hop. It's like what's going on in hip hop is bigger than the election. I hear more about Diddy than I do Kamala and Trump sometimes
Yeah.
on the news. That's crazy.
Yeah. I hope the election be fair because it's all a distraction right now. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about what's going on in the world today. I keep speaking about Diddy, like one of the names that keep coming up is Jay-Z. And I start asking people like, why do you think everybody is so hell bent on including Jay-Z and everything bad with hip hop right now?
I don't know. It seemed like the algorithm is like, they want to see the domino effect. You don't hear about the other guys that's been caught in allegations or L.A. Reid or when it comes to the scope of hip hop,
Right.
the fanciness of it all. It's like, okay, what Jimmy Iovine and all them other guys, they allegations, it's in and out. But it seemed like we don't talk about the music no more. We rather find that. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah,
just
it's like all the clickbait is on all the negative. It's like, okay, one person gotta go down. Who else on top that we can bring down? Let's bring
right,
up all the old dirt that
right.
might, it's some truth to a lot of stuff, but it's like I'm thinking the internet I feel like the internet is just stretching stuff so much just to get the views. It's like remember when we was younger, like the National Enquirer used to come out.
Hmm.
You in the supermarket, you see these stories that just seem so far fetched and unreal.
Right.
And I feel like the internet is that times 1,000.
Yeah, put more fire on it. A lot of people don't get the direct interview from it, direct people, associates. So they want to talk about, the gossip part of it all, you know. Um,
Right.
it's pretty messed up that you know, 90% of these interviews they don't even talk about the artist's music or the production or investments or what I'm saying. What's the next move outside of hip hop or whatever? It's just like, okay, you see it. It's just like I wish they really asked Dame Dash about his movies. You know what I'm
Yeah, it's
saying?
like Dame. It's funny because like damn, Dame got a lot going on
Hmm.
that's like positive, and it's like people don't ask him about Jay, but I think it's always gonna come up because of the amount of attention and the views it get. But me personally, I don't want to hear him talk about Jay no more. Like I want to hear him talk about, this the business he got going on, not, all of that was in the past. Like let's go. You got a lot of good shit going on now. Let's talk about that. But I mean, that's just my personal opinion. It's like let's move on from that. But it is what it is.
I mean, it's this is a collective punishment game. Karma karma hunts these guys. Whatever they did, it's like if you do something wrong in the street and you put your name on a flyer and people know where you at. It's the same thing with the internet. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
So it's just that's happening at an all time high. I think that's what Cat Williams was warning us about
Yeah.
in the beginning of the year.
Yeah, it's like if you make it big, you just gotta keep your reputation clean. Like, okay, you can have a white party, but even though you had a bed in the middle of the party and all the girls jumped on there voluntarily, now that party was considered a freak off when they point out, oh, Jay-Z was there, and it's like, oh, y'all just overlooked all the other thousand of white celebrities that was at these parties too.
Right,
You
right.
know what I'm saying? I
But
seen
then
one video.
again, we the ones that show off. We the white folks. I ain't never seen Jimmy Iovine whip out a bunch of money or show his car.
Right.
You know. But what were you about to say? My bad, cutting you off.
No, it'd just be like, it'd be funny. Like I seen one video and the guy was showing like a slow-mo reel, and it was just a regular like white party. It looked like it was outside, and it was a bed there, and you seen all these girls, all the groupies running up, jumping on the bed, and they was actually just jumping on the bed, but it was like a white party, and like Jay-Z walked in, and the guy that was doing the video, he stopped it and was like Jay-Z, and it was like, but it when you scan the video all up to that point, it was like Ashton Kutcher. It was like all these other like top-notch celebrities at that time that probably was like way more famous than Jay-Z. It's
Right.
like, dude, like if if people are monsters, let's treat everybody the same. Everybody get the same punishment, right?
Yeah.
Based on whatever they did or whatever karma they got. But it's just like it I just see it with our own people. Like we can't just let somebody it's like we gotta find somebody else to bring down. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And it's like we gotta attach somebody else to it, and not let it just be the people that actually was doing stuff that got caught up in it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Right.
And
Right.
then we don't have that same energy for the other people when that's outside of hip hop or outside of the black culture. It's like, oh, we expected them to be this way, but
Right.
still, if you expected them, that don't make the punishment shouldn't be any different. You know what I'm saying? Like the scrutiny shouldn't be different. I just feel it should be equal scrutiny, equal
Right.
punishment.
Right. You look at some of these platforms, and how many of these platforms interview the people from the Nickelodeon documentary, that the victims from there, and really go in detail. They played the documentary, but it was overlooked. But go and break
Yeah,
it down. Talk about where the podcast is talking about that at.
yeah. Yep.
But
It's like, oh, that ain't hip hop. We don't care about it. Yeah,
yeah.
but it's still entertainment. It's still
Right.
kids' lives that was messed
There
up.
you go.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Yo,
Yeah.
speaking
Speaking
of
of,
that, you see,
go
oh no,
ahead.
you see Diddy Kids. It was a post they doing like some type of reality vlog where they got
Yeah.
like a bunch of footage and
Yeah.
stuff. I think it's interesting the timing of that.
Mm.
Um, but I could see them making a lot of money from that for some reason. But it's just interesting to me the timing. But
I
it is
mean,
what it is.
you look at it. I mean, it's on the front page now. It's one of his sons got Carnos due and all this stuff. But when you around somebody and say, you know, I do it, fuck those networks, I do it. Don't be an actor when my under my lineage and stuff. Those guys,
Right.
even with King Combs, he had an album out and things like that. It was good to see his independence in that. But just to keep going is everything. When you depend on people, it's just the
Right.
domino effect of that. People's likeness. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true. Like if somebody gonna make money off of our daddy, we gonna do it too.
Indeed, man.
What it looks like.
Right.
You know? So what's going on? I seen I've been hearing some stuff. It's just like I'm looking on the internet and I'm seeing like the street lord dudes going back and forth with each other, and that to me is kind of sad for Detroit. I understand everybody got their own issues, but I just feel like we got too many I see it not just in Detroit, but I'm just see it on the internet. It's like too many people in their 50s instigating old beasts and getting these dudes that, they coming back and they airing out their dirty laundry. And they probably had issues with each other, but the world would have never really known that if you wasn't in the circle. but it just seemed like I don't know. You just got people online that's just instigating people to come out and talk about all the negative they was in. You know what I'm saying?
The
That
clickbait, man. That's what's getting
yeah,
monetized. I mean, you know, and it was so to keep it real, man. I used to see how Blade Icewood used to be in the street selling his CDs and how the stores treat him. They overlook him. You know, he pull up in a nice car. They really kind of overlook him more. You know, and he died from that. They didn't really have this success. It was on a way of mimicking what Cash Money done and things like that. But we so overlooked, and then you know we glamorized the murder and and things like that. You know, it's really sad. You know, and you know it's just even watching these guys just come up trying to do the Motown thing, and you know whether it was Blade or Eminem, I used to see them guys in the street just being overlooked.
right.
You know, we hang on to, hang on at the last minute. We get clingy at the last minute. Now these guys are dead or moved away in that mentality. You know, it's really sad. Now it's murder and things like that. Not to keep saying murder, but we glamorize that, and it's still open wounds. It's like
Right.
you can't really play with that stuff, if you really want a life in this game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I just think it's sad when we like so you had like crews, whether it was, our local crews or anywhere where they had like they whole team, they had some issues amongst themselves, right? And the general public, we didn't know about it. If you wasn't in that circle around, you didn't really know. And then now you got all these platforms coming out, and it's like they're instigating these feuds that was like old feuds, like some people you almost forgot about, you know what I'm saying? Then all of a sudden somebody be like, yeah, such and such, and then be like, oh yeah, I used to he did this or whatever. Then all of a sudden it's like this whole beef going on. And the sad part about it is, you know, dudes, up in age, and then you kind of calling them back into the streets because everybody's ego is fragile. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
So it's like,
it was wild. It's like, and a lot of them times you don't really know. Did anybody pick up a music book to make that stuff work?
right, right,
Just like, if they really had like a Paul Rosenberg in their sector, and it would have got away from somebody who really cared about that stuff and say, yo, all this beef shit, we making a lot of money a month. You know what I'm saying? This and that. We're
right,
gonna make sure we get a legitimate check, whether it's 10 or 20,000. Somebody, even to this day, a lot of them guys don't have managers or lawyers to kind of buffer that. They put an
right,
album out, get in the streets, try to hit the clubs and the radio stations themselves and record stores themselves, and then they greet it with all of this stuff one on one. It's
right.
people that the structure that care right there is not in place a lot of the time. Just like what Eminem used to go through. Paul was able to buffer that stuff, but the care level it get high when people see the materialism of it all and the success and they get clingy kind of late, and that's what you see right now. It's just that.
Yeah,
When they had a distribution deal and when these companies went bankrupt and owed these StreetLordz and all these guys a lot of money, they went their own little ways. And Napster kind of kicked a lot of our asses in that early time in hip hop.
yeah,
And that's what you're seeing now. Everybody monetizing their music for free and putting it on this side and that side, and the people that genuinely care is out of breath. They out of
right.
gas.
Yeah. The only bit of fame they got is to rehash like old beats and stuff, and hopefully they get their
That's
name
it.
popping. Yeah. Hey,
You say
speaking of like,
yourself, how many StreetLordz songs do you know?
I know a
And
good like 4 or 5. I
he,
can't name like all the album. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, it's like
Yeah, like
they
the
still
songs on.
do. They still do for
Yeah, I
that.
can't name. I can't say okay this album and I remember every song on it. You know what I'm saying? Like I did. It was popular here, but at the same time, it wasn't. You know, it just wasn't pushed in our face like that. You had to go find it.
Right,
You know?
right.
Yeah. Speaking of like Detroit artists, what you think about Payroll's new project?
I like the fact that he got E40 and Benny the Butcher and those guys on there. My boy
Yeah,
AK from Puritan, my boy AK who's on our channel now. He did some tracks for him, and he really it's like it's hustling hip hop, man.
yeah.
He telling everybody get their stocks right and get some good credit. you know,
Hey
I
man,
like.
I it popped up in my feed that song Boss Affirmations
Mm,
that he got. That
mm,
that song dope because it's like, like in the business world, you go to like these seminars, so they have you listen to like Jim Rohn or some of these motivational speakers and stuff, right? And I'm listening to him, and he got people in the mirror on the video just saying, I'm this, I'm that, like, and that's what they tell you to do, like, you gotta say your affirmations, like this is who I'm gonna be, this is who I
right,
am. It
right,
just subconsciously it build confidence, right?
right.
And it tells you to go get it. So like on the street level, people talk their shit every day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But that's basically all it is,
yeah,
because your biggest fan should be you.
yeah.
So that right now, that's like my number one Detroit song right now.
Mm,
Well, probably one of my number one songs, like just to
mm.
listen to. You know.
Shout out to Mario who did the artwork. Dub from the Hip Hop Shop. Dub did
Okay.
the artwork. He part of the Wheat Bread and Fire Ella and things like that. Shout
Oh,
out to
that's
Dub.
sweet.
Yeah,
That's sweet.
yeah. Rest in peace
Um,
to DJ Clark Kent too, man. I want to say that too.
yeah, man. Clark Kent did. Damn, I didn't know he did. I think it was the Kanye West song with what's the young kid name, Lil Pump or something like that.
Mm.
The video where they had like the big, like baggy. They was like the
Yeah, that
big
was quick.
wide shoulders, like the
Yeah,
costume. I didn't
yeah,
know he did that beat.
yeah, yeah. Did you
Yeah,
know?
I had
He did We Be Clubbing too.
for real.
Yeah,
You talking about Ice Cubes?
yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I knew he did Players Anthem and he did Jay-Z stuff. I didn't know he did We Be Clubbing.
Hmm.
That
Yo,
just
shout
go to
out to
show how
Dana Dane
versatile
too,
he was.
man. For real.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah,
When he,
rest in peace, man.
Foxy Brown said they should. She reached out to Jay Z for them to have a parade for him.
For real.
Yeah, I hope they do.
Yeah.
When he did the
Yeah.
Dana Dane, when he cut it up in the video as a kid, I used to watch that shit back and forth. For real. You know.
Yeah, that's dope. Yeah,
Hmm.
if Jay-Z don't do that, people gonna hate him even more. They gonna be like, "Oh, Jay ain't with the culture. He ain't doing this no more." I think, I think with hip hop, man. I mean, from a fan perspective, yeah, you want to see that. Like you wanted to see Jay at the hip hop 50th and all of that type of stuff. But at the same time, we gotta let people grow. Like, the big thing is Wayne not performing at the Super Bowl because of where the Super Bowl is at. But I mean, I don't recall like the Super Bowl, the NFL in particular, saying whatever city we in, we have to have their artists perform. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, Whitney Houston or anybody like that singing the national anthem and all of that. It wasn't like, oh, we have to have the artist from this particular city or
Right.
state perform. But again, when it comes to hip hop, it's like, how you gonna have it and not have Wayne? But I mean, We had, I
But
mean, the
like
super,
Doobie said, that happened. They had the Super Bowl a couple of times, and then they didn't put Lil Wayne there. I mean, it's maybe it's to control the city too. I don't know. Maybe he'll bring a lot of way more attention to it than Kendrick. I don't know, man. You know.
yeah, that just put more pressure on Kendrick though. He better turn that more. He better turn
Yeah,
it
yeah,
out for
yeah.
real. Yeah, that's funny. But what else going on? Speaking of like some stuff that's going on now, we was talking about like the beef and all of that and the R.I.Ps. What you think going on as far as like it's weird because Meech Lil Durk is locked up. You know what I'm saying? And it's like it's almost like in hip hop, it's like we trade one for the other. It's either somebody come back home, somebody either gotta die or somebody gotta get locked up.
What they say,
You know,
Puffy locked up and Meech home. Meech used to invest in the bad boys. It's
yeah, and
it's, it's something, man. You know,
uh,
I like to see Meech make the best of his influence. That's
yeah,
he showed the world that like he give a fuck. That's
right.
he he want to see his boy get good pussy. That's like it's fat, sick, skinny. You know what I'm saying? I used to watch that. I said, man, I've been feeling like that all my life, and just to hear him say that, and then they just say his gunplay. He rather hustle. He didn't like the gunplay.
Right.
That's the beauty of him. That's why you got LeBron and those guys retweet him and big him up and things. I think that's those elements from him, his charisma to see unity. You know,
Yeah.
you know.
I think cause it's like a it was funny, like people was all posting, oh yeah, Meech home, the streets gonna be this now, it's gonna be back popping. And I'm like, yeah, maybe not the streets as far as like the street stuff. It's just the chemistry and the attitude and the culture because, like you said, he kept some unity and he gave a lot of people hope and pride in themselves to say, okay, we can be this and we can do this, even though they probably went about it, the way that they did, achieving everything. But it just showed that, the leadership ability shows that people was waiting on a leader to come home. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? But
Mm-hmm.
I think personally, I think it's a huge lane for him in the entertainment world. Because can you imagine the first like really big Meech interview, either online or what? You know what I'm saying? I don't know, like Shannon Sharp, whoever he get that interview to, is
Mm-hmm.
gonna be that deal.
Yeah, that's dope. Yeah, I can't wait for that.
And
I
then
heard
like
he lived it up in prison. I heard they really had love for him, like
yeah, I
Mhm.
mean, word is he fed a lot of people when he was out, and that
Mhm.
love it got to carry on. But it's like just that part alone. I mean, that's a story in itself. Like you got the series, and then that prison time that can be a whole movie in itself or a series.
Yeah.
You know, so
Ain't too many people say we, like we gonna do this, we gonna get money, we gonna get some ass. It's good when people talk like that. It's not too many people, you know what I'm saying, in the world like
yeah,
that.
yeah, that's dope though. But
Mhm.
yeah, I think it's good just to see it. I hate like people online. They again, it's the clickbait saying, "Well, he got out a little early and this and that," and it's like, dude, like if somebody got sentenced to 30 years and they did 20 plus, like we see people all the time get out early without having any of the allegations behind it. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And it's just like people gotta come up with something like, okay,
Mhm.
like if you get sentenced to 30 years and you do 25 or 28 or whatever, like they don't always keep you the full 30. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like people always we can't let our leaders or our heroes or our idols be just what they are and be clean. We always got to throw some smut on their name or something on the internet. That's just crazy to me, man.
I mean, and people like that, you glad they still exist. Prison kind of say those guys. Can you imagine if instead of them getting rid of Martin Luther King, they just threw him in jail and he come
Yeah,
out and ball out? You know what I'm saying?
right.
So you gotta, the internet is the internet, man. I think it's just bullshit being promoted half the time.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
we
true.
we scroll on the internet and look for something to entertain us, not to educate us majority of the time.
Right.
Mhm.
What you think about Lil Durk situation?
It's sad that his homeboy been around him that long, and they were saying how much leeway he gave him, buying him a house and car and things like that.
Right.
You going what they were saying how the fans kind of led a lot of that stuff on.
Hmm.
The revenge plot and things like that. But we'll see it play out, man. You know, shout out to Chicago.
I I was watching a interview when he was with Wallow, and Wallow was telling him like
Yeah,
Wallow was telling him about when his brother got killed, and he was like, I had to let it go, I had to forgive him so I can be who I am now, and that led me to being around to feed my family, right? And you could see Dirk was getting it, but you can also see like if you pay you got to look at the body language of some of the dudes in the back, not all of them, but you got to look at it and was like some of the body language was like, oh nigga, we ain't listening to none of that shit. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying? It was like
yeah,
you can be all sad and emotional, but we savages. And I
yeah,
was just looking at them like, watching it at my age and where I'm at, it was like, damn, you know what I'm saying? You could feel it, and you could tell Dirk was feeling it a little bit. But some of them dudes was just like stone faced. They was like, we got to do this because our reputation on the line. You know what I'm saying? Like, we get what you saying, but that just ain't where what we about. So it's sometimes it's just hard to get through to people, and I don't know if that played a part or influence. I don't know even the full story of what's really real, what he actually did or not. But it's just like, um, the circle around you, man, influence everything you do and how you think, how you react to things.
yeah.
Like,
You
no,
know
you
the,
can't let
the
it.
the beauty of that for Wallow to really care to put that out to him, and for him to penetrate through that room with all them gangsters and guns in that room and just
Yeah,
say it. He lit up the room just saying it. That's that he got that big Meech blood. That's what we talked about. Like for him to just say, "Oh, this is my moment. I don't care about nothing else." No, and some people don't embrace that moment where you can say, "Okay, I'm gonna give him my energy, my real me." You know what I'm saying? This is the time I can do that. That's why he's so successful now, because he doing what ain't been done, what people scared to do or too timid to do. Wallow,
right.
A plus for Wallow for doing that, man. You meeting him coming out of jail, man. You seen it on him like this guy gonna be rich in 10 minutes, and it's not
Yeah,
too many people that's like that. People waiting for shit to happen, but for him to take the moment and say, I'm gonna talk to this little kid. Maybe I heard some stuff about Dirk or some things in the street about. I'm gonna put this down. That was the beauty of that. It would.
right.
We don't get these moments all the time, man. And that's what I learned about Proof. When he in a room, he take it, make the best of that moment and being in the room and whatever word message you want to get out, whether it's good or bad, he gonna get it out.
Right.
And that's his leadership. You know what I'm saying? And some of them young guys,
Yeah.
they don't. their fathers ain't been around, and you know what I'm saying. A lot of these guys really ain't come up around fist fighting, and you know, we went from a 22 or a Dillinger to a 22 to a 25 to a 9. They can come
Right.
out the cradle to a bazooka, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah. That's funny you mentioned that because I remember like being young, a teenager, getting a hold of a 2.5 and thinking you the
oh man.
thinking you the junk, man. It was just like that was like the thing, and then you get a little older, then it get a little bit different. Then,
Yeah.
but I'll be looking at these young kids like, you got what? Like, man, come on now,
Yeah.
you shoot deer or something? Like, come on,
Man, we had a sawed off. We just thought we was everything as a kid.
yeah.
That
I
thing was
told you,
dangerous.
Threat had me go. I had a piece. I called it Black Larry because of Threat. He said
Uh,
I gotta carry my homie Black Larry. You know what I'm saying? He was talking about his boy riding him on the handlebars and he got the shotgun on his lap. And I'm
uh,
like, man, as soon as I get a shotgun, I'm gonna name him Black Larry. Like, man, how ignorant was I? You know what I'm saying? So it was
yeah.
just like crazy. But
Wow.
yeah, man, it's sad what I'm starting to really realize though. It's like um depending on where dudes grew up at in their life, like if your peers are not making it past 30 or 35, you don't get to see 50-year-old success, or you don't get to even see yourself. Like if your father's not around or your father is locked up or not successful at 55, 60, you don't even see the future you. So you really don't get to see the future. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you don't have nobody. Yeah, you see it on TV. You see your Jay-Z's or Birdman, whoever, you know what I'm saying, that's 40, 50 years old. But you know, all the hood celebrities, they locked up or dead. So if you 20, where's the future you at to show you an example of, man, this is what life like at 55, 60. I'm living it up. I did everything I did in my young years. I stacked up some bread. Now I'm living life like this. If you don't see that in your immediate circle, it's hard for you to even, you know, phantom living past 30, 35, 40. You know what I'm saying? Now, I just want to tell the young dudes, it's cool being 50 and having your money right and having something together. You know what I'm saying? And you kind of figured
Right.
life out enough to where you can enjoy it
Mm-hmm.
past them, you know, past them wasteful years where you out there just grinding all the time in your 20s and 30s, you know. But
Yeah, no realizing these guys, Dirk got kids, man. These guys got kids, bro, and that's the Puffy got kids, and a lot of cats don't really put the energy in their kids, you
yeah,
know. And I'm not saying them, but they don't really look at that, you know. It's like you blessed to have kids. It's like, can you look in the mirror with your kids, you know? And that's the whole thing. A lot of these guys, you know, rapping about bullshit and you know what I'm saying, glorifying bullshit, and they don't look at that shit. Even all this man liking man in the industry stuff. It's like we
yeah,
confusing the kids, like even and they married, and you know no gay bashing and things like that. But you know what is the message for you know that's shout out to the Cosby Show when they came to that level. You know what I'm saying?
right.
You know just the imagery of that. It seemed like everything on TV is that. You know, it's like, damn, we can't even watch no TV with your kid
Yeah,
without
you can't, you don't see
confusing them.
no,
Yeah,
yeah, you don't see the structure as much as you used to. I mean, you see it, you got to go look for it. Whereas back
got
then, the
to.
Cosby Show was put right in front of our face,
Right,
prime time. I mean, you didn't have 1,000 other distractions going at you.
right.
You know, like I know a lot of people that said they went to college because they was watching a different
Right.
world. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
right.
They wanted that experience, so they seen School Days or whatever. You know,
Yeah,
but
if
yeah,
that's your preference, you know, just need to have some type of it should not be like blam. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah,
You
it's
know.
crazy. They tried to hijack the word b-boy one time. I remember it was a book or something that came out, and they was saying the word b-boy was like a homosexual word, and I'm like, no,
Mm.
fuck, it ain't. Like b-boy came from breakdancing. Like don't try to hijack b-boy. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
I heard LL Cool J say b-boy and or DMC say b-boy baddest to the
Yeah.
highest degree. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
no, don't hijack that. I'm glad that died down, but it
Yeah.
was just
What they trying to say that that lady was a man in Biggie's video. They said that's really a woman.
yeah, they said she was the
You
one
can't
that was
do
in
that
the
to 'em.
video in the bed with him, and she was dancing behind LL. And she was also in the video when Biggie
Warning.
was talking to her. Then Buster tried to walk up and talk to her, and she dissed him. But it was like, and then they was like, LL said he she, and everybody running with that. I'm like, then somebody made a story up. She was well, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know the inner workings like that, but they said it was actually a transgender and she was from Queens or something, and then she ended up getting killed or something like that. It was
Yeah,
some crazy
they
story.
said that's not true.
Yeah. If she's still alive, but she need to come on out and say
Yeah,
I'm full
come
fledged.
to Funky Fresh and kick it with us.
Yeah.
Let's
Show
get this
show she
straight.
really a lady.
Yeah, they try to put stain on Biggie name with that, you know.
Oh man, they been ever since the Diddy thing, man. Like you seeing even rappers like other rappers like, yeah, he did say some suspect stuff, even though it was a Richard Pryor line, but we found out Richard Pryor was this afterwards, and I would have never said that. And I'm like, man, you was singing along with that shit back in the day too. Yeah, it's crazy. You know.
Yeah.
Speaking of a bad boy, what's Shyne got a documentary or something out?
Hmm. Yeah,
What's the name of it?
the honorable. Yeah, but you know, y'all get hip, man. We got a little section in there. You know,
Okay,
got a chance to talk to Shyne in the documentary. You know, before he went to prison, I had a chance to kick it with him. So
okay,
y'all stay tuned for that. I see Funk Flex talking about it, and you know
yeah,
how Sean's story is different. You know, from everything was real. But shout out to Sean, man, to interview him before he went to prison like that, and just to see the look on his eyes and stuff, man, it was a wild time, you know. And
yeah.
all his boys was around him, but he was just cold, like you know, I'm about to go to jail, you know.
Damn, that's crazy.
Hmm.
I can't imagine that feeling like knowing you about to go in and do double digit years or some years, and you out free now. It's like the day you just counting down the days. My uncle
Hmm.
went through that, and I was just like, the whole family go through that. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
He was counting down the days.
How much
Yeah.
time you do?
He did 5 years. He was in federal over in where was we at? Like Princeton VA or something like that.
Mm,
And they sent him home not too long after COVID because he was sick, and
mm,
um and then he ended up his cancer came back, and he
mm.
got out, man. He died like within a year after getting out.
That's what they'd let you out when they know you sick.
Yeah, well, they around that time they was starting to let people out because COVID had
Hmm.
was hitting some of them prisons bad. Then he was like what is it, like low level security and stuff, and he was a veteran and all of that. So it was real relaxed where it was at, and it was just like and then they was letting some people out. He was in there with people that did like medical scams and all that, like doctors and all that type of stuff. And it was just shit, people was getting sick, and then they was like, if people already had an illness, like he had beat cancer once,
Mm,
then he got locked up, then he came out and his cancer came back. And but it was just like since he was high risk anyway, they was just like let him out.
Mm.
You know.
Damn,
But
rest in
yeah,
peace. Mm.
yeah, but it's just when you see somebody and they counting down them days, man, it's like, okay, you gotta turn yourself in on this day and all of that. That shit, man. I can't imagine actually being the person though, you know. So I don't want that feeling.
Man.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Speaking of what's going on with the proof documentary?
Well, it's out on Radiant TV. Y'all go get the app.
Okay.
Radiant TV. You got a spot in there. You know that.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's a
Well, you
3 part.
know,
Go
when
ahead.
when we do stuff like we be knowing we interviewing and all of that, we don't know what the final edit's gonna be like. You
Mm,
know what I'm saying? Yeah.
mm.
But yeah.
Yup. 3 part documentary is out right now. We got a lot of his friends and family in there. A lot
Yeah.
familiar faces in there. People that ran the label with him. People that grew up with him. Shout out to Fi Ella. They helped
Yeah.
me out a lot. Mud helped me out a lot moving around. And, they actually got a new vinyl out. Fi
Okay.
Ella with some approved throwback verses on there. The album that Time Forgot, they repressed that up. Most Wanted Records, but shout out to them. And
Okay.
yeah, it's on Radiant TV. Strike, shout out to Strike. Ron Mo, he's a part of it. Our art director, our video director, all that. So
Yeah. When we interview Strike, like because of you know what I'm saying, when we interview people was asking me like, yeah, Strike, where I recognize him from. I'm like, that's dude from 8 Mile, you know what I'm saying?
mm-hmm,
And like a lot of people, because you know the movie, you look at the other characters, they wasn't really rappers like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm
mm-hmm,
like, no, Strike really rap. He a rapper first. You know what I'm saying?
right.
He just got the part. And you look at Anthony Mackie and the other dudes, they went on to act, but
Mm-hmm,
Strike is a real rapper. So if y'all go back and see the movie, you're looking at a rapper first. So
yeah.
yeah, it's funny that people it's just like I went to the LL Cool J concert that was here. What was it like last year or something? And
Mm-hmm,
the young guy, we had like rented a suite or something with this company, and he was like, "Yeah, I didn't know LL can rap like that." I'm like, "Dude, he was a rapper way before he was
yeah.
an actor."
Yep.
Yeah, so
Shout out to LL talked about that. Shout out to LL. He gave us a drop for our show, Funky Fresh Drop. And
yeah,
yeah, shout out to Strike, Lickety Split. The Proof documentary is out right now. It's called Searching for Big Proof. It's on Radiant TV. Y'all go
yeah,
get that. Go get the app. Go to Google and you see Radiant TV,
yeah.
RADIANT TV. You get
Okay.
that, and you'll see it. And check it
You
out.
know what I like about that? You know what I like about that? The footage that I seen was the fact that I'm gonna pull up the Radiant TV. Sorry, but the footage that I seen on there, everything is so authentic. Like you talking to like people that knew him, not just like the artist. These probably people that would have known him if he wasn't rapping. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? You get a different type of feedback from people that were like your actual friends, not like your rapper friends or your hip hop
mm,
friends. So you got a good balance of both people that knew him personally and people that knew him from just the artists and the hip hop world, and got people that knew him both. You know what I'm saying? That
mm.
came up with him. So it was just like seeing that makes it more authentic to me than just getting a bunch of celebrities just to say good stuff about them. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah. To have a camera, we had a camera around them when it wasn't cool to have a camera around. You know,
Yeah,
just that's the thing. Is the to humble ourselves and document it and get the footage. And that was the goal back then coming up, just to say, yo, you a star, let me get you on camera. When they didn't even feel like it half the time.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Now it was an actual camcorder, not a cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What else we got on the menu today? The Tribe
Yeah,
Hall
shout
of
out
Rock
to
and Roll
Tribe
Hall
Called,
of
yeah,
Fame.
Tribe Called Quest, man. The
Hey,
Tribe
you
is
know the
very
funniest
popular.
part about that was when Fife's father came
Yeah.
on. They was all done. Fife father was like, I ain't get cute for what he say, I ain't can come up here and get cute for nothing. Then he gave his little flirt to Dionne Warwick.
Yeah, yeah, that was dope.
That was all. He's like, I ain't come up here and get cute for nothing.
Yeah, that's dope. Super dope, man.
Yeah.
Was Ali Shaheed? He wasn't on the stage, was he?
No, he wasn't there.
Yep.
No,
I'm like, man, where Ali Shaheed Muhammad at, man? You
probably
know?
was somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah, or something. But yeah, that was, and I like what Dave Chappelle was saying. Like you would never think as teenagers, you know what I'm saying, getting into hip hop. Like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is like the last thing you think about. But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was just, you look at how many people was birthed from Tribe Called Quest, and that came through that lineage, starting with the Jungle Brothers.
Yeah. Yo.
Yeah, we had a little delay there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, but it was like Tribe that took that native tongue movement to the next level.
Yeah, from the Jungle Brothers, man.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
and Latifah and everybody. But yeah, man,
Yeah, rest in peace to Fight.
it's
Oh,
yeah,
what you about to say, Reg?
dope, man. No, I was just saying, like, it was good to see somebody, like we know, like the bigger names, the Run DMCs and all of that went on to be like huge success starting out. Um, but it was just like seeing them, because they was kind of like a different wave of hip hop, like them and De La and all of that. They wasn't initially mainstream. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
To be honest, I don't know if they ever technically were mainstream. Like Q-Tip became a bigger star, a bigger celebrity, but they never was mainstream like the Jay-Z and crossover to pop like that. So for them to get into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, that meant a lot, because it shows that the art form itself was appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't about who sold the most records and all of
Mm-hmm.
that type of stuff. It was about your impact on the music and the culture overall.
Yeah. As a DJ going to the record stores, that was those records we used to look for, the Tribe Called Quest with the B sides on there that's not on the album, and just looking at the artwork and what's the remixes, things like that. Those are
Yeah,
you know collecting those records was
yeah,
everything. You
yeah.
know when
And shout
Dylan,
out to De La Soul for redoing that redoing the Oodles and O's video.
oh yeah,
You seen
yeah,
that?
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, I want to see more artists do that. Create videos for like songs that either wasn't as big, or they singles, or even some of their B-side
Mhm.
stuff. Mhm.
Yep. Shout out to Dayla, man. Jay Dilla for doing all that shit with a Tribe Called Quest and rocking out,
Yeah.
man, keeping us all inspired.
Yeah,
Yep.
Dilla took how they did what they did for the Jungle Brothers and the Native Tongues. I think Dilla came along and took it all to another level
Yeah, he did.
with his influence. It just added something different to it
Mm-hmm.
that was still within that lineage, but
Mm-hmm.
it brought it something new and it gave it a new sound and everything. Cause man, you go back and look at Busta Rhymes album credits. It was like he was Dilled out. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
Like the Uma on there heavy.
yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Hey, tell me something, Reg. You familiar with Big Hit and Hit Boy doing their projects together with Big Hit and his daddy? I mean Hit Boy and his father, Big Hit.
Nah. I'm familiar with Hit Boy, but I didn't know they was working on a project together.
Well, his father, yeah, his father well, he went back to prison, but his father, he did like 700 songs before he went, when he got out
Oh
of jail.
damn.
So they did a bunch of projects and stuff and Hit Boy produced them all, and they in-house production with the videos and things like that. But
Right.
yeah, it's dope to see father and son, working like that.
All right, I'm
Mm.
gonna have to check it out.
Yeah, shout out to Hit Boy.
Yeah.
Free Big Hit. Seemed like he, coming out and trying to keep his family together. He just, caught on the twist with
Right.
the system. Hmm.
Yeah, that's dope, man.
So what
But
you
yeah,
think
man.
of? What you think? One more time, man. With one more question, man. What you think about the political campaigns at home that go on?
Detroit something else, man. Like, I mean, just the whole political thing right now is crazy because I mean, we got Trump. He is who he is, and I think that's why people like him because he not sugarcoating anything. Like, if he telling you a lie, he probably believe it himself. You know what I'm saying? But Kamala, man, it's like it's damn near like when Biden stepped out, man. It was like they almost was giving her the race like on a platter. You know what I'm saying? And it was like just don't mess up. Just don't say nothing to mess this up, right? But everything in her campaign is about how bad Trump is, and people want to know, like, what are you gonna do for me? Like, that's the name of the radio station. What's in it for me, right? Like WYD, whatever it is. So it's like we it's like you asked her a question like when Zeke from New Era Detroit asked her about reparations, right? She went to this whole spiel, then she went back into how her mom brought a house and she talked about the health care of black men and all that. And it's like, no, cut the check. You know what I'm saying? Like Jason Black be saying, cut the check. B1, we want the check. Like I asked you specifically about reparations. You know what I'm saying? What are you going to do about that? You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't need no more studies. We already studied. People in different cultures and races have received reparations, and it didn't take them 20 or 30 years to study how they was going to pay them, right? And she
Right.
danced around that to you forgot what question was asked because she talked so long off the subject, right? And she does that so much that it's almost like I don't know if I trust her. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, she's trying hard not to say the wrong thing, is what I'm thinking. And it's like I tell people this. You remember when we was like when you was in the 12th grade and you met that it's always that one person you met and you be like, when you start going here, and they be like, I've been here since a freshman. See
Mm,
that senior that you just not meeting, but been there 4 years,
mm.
right?
Wow.
Trump like the dude that graduated 2 years ago, but he's still hanging around high school kids, and everybody like
Mm,
him because he was live. You know what I'm saying? But he an idiot. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's what we deal with on a national level. Then locally, it's like it's just weird, man, because like people are being judged locally on who they align with. Like I seen people just bashing Kwame Kilpatrick, and he not into politics like in anything, but because he was a political figure, because he mentioned something about supporting some things the Republicans are saying and doing, they just bashed him to death. Like, who's to say he had to be Democrat and agree with everything they're doing and saying? Like for example, Kamala's like, we gonna give you a $6,000
Charles.
No, yeah, we had delay.
Back
Yeah,
again.
yeah. So I was just saying how like with Kamala, it's like, you will see an ad and it's like we giving a $6,000 child tax credit, right? So yeah, for everybody and kids, you get this $6,000 child tax credit. But at the same time, you heavy on supporting abortion. I'm not saying she shouldn't, but that's kind of a contradiction in itself when you think about it on a bigger scale of things. Yeah, it's all right to have an abortion, but at the same time, we giving you money for having kids. You know what I'm saying? It's like we we just gotta have. I think the platform and people just be too far one sided, and then she just don't give. Um, I just need her to give straightforward answers and answer the question and really stand on something and believe in it. It's like I don't want to hear about you worked at McDonald's no more. I don't want to. I don't want to see Meg the Stallion at the rally. Like, come on, like we adults here. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I want to see Meg the Stallion or Beyonce, people were showing up because of Beyonce and leaving when Beyonce left. Like, come on now. Like
It's
we
emotions and entertainment in this election. It's all
yeah,
they
it's
want
like
to
we yeah, and
do.
it's like we not stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
y'all got so many celebrity endorsements, but I get it because that's where the world is at now. But it's still just it's just crazy. Local politics. I tell people, and shout out to Killer Mike for saying this, and I never thought about it that deep until he said it. He was like, "You really need to be really focused on your local politics, right?"
Mhm.
Because those the people that's going to impact you the most, and they're going to impact you first, and everything is going to trickle down through them. So their policies are going to have a bigger impact on what your neighborhoods are going to look like, and what the city's going to look like, and what services you get and everything. And you not getting Beyonce to come to the local mayor race. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not a distraction there. It's like it is what it is with that. So
This is
um
like for the gram politics.
yeah,
Everything.
that's basically what it is. Who can get the most likes? It's I mean, politics has already always been about popularity, right? You
Yeah,
had to be popular for the people to even know who you are so they can listen to you first and foremost. But um
did Ronald
but
Reagan
when
go this hard? He didn't go this hard when he was in Hollywood and come to politics. He didn't have
they
nobody
they did,
singing.
but media was different. You didn't have like Donald, you had three networks to go on. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't
Yeah.
go to Joe Rogan afterwards. You know what I'm saying? So it was like we just gotta. I mean, a president only has so much power anyway, right? It's more about influencing. You got other parts of the government that's really making bigger decisions. But at the end of the day, man, it's like stop. It's almost like you think we dumb. Like, stop trying to entertain me and tell me something that's gonna change my life. Tell me what you stand on and what you're actually going to fight for. Like I don't need the average home buyer doesn't need a $25,000 down payment assistance if there's not enough homes on the market to buy in the first place, right? Because all that's going to do is, like, it say in a neighborhood it's only 10 houses on the market, right? And you got 30 buyers trying to buy those 10 houses. Now, if you give people 25,000, you're going to change 30 buyers into 50 buyers, right? Because now you got 20 buyers that came on that didn't have the money before, but that didn't solve the problem of only having 10 houses. So what's going to happen to those 10 houses? They're going to increase in value because people are going to say, oh, I got this extra 25. Let's give them an extra 15,000 for the house, because I need to be one of the people to get this house. The better thing would be to do is incentivize people for either building new homes, you know what I'm saying, or giving some relief for people that's selling the homes. You know what I'm saying? Like, it got to incentivize more people to sell homes, because when they sell, they're going to go out and buy more properties. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I sell my home, I'm going to go buy another home, most likely, right? So that opens the door for new buyers to come into the market. And yeah, I want people to get 25,000, but that's not solving the problem of affordability. You know what I'm saying? That's creating another problem. And Detroit has a $25,000 down payment program. They ran out of money. Like, people used that money up in like 4 months. Like, we seen it happen locally in Detroit. So if you do it nationwide, and it helped Detroit, it helped a lot of first time home buyers, but you do it nationwide, it still doesn't solve the problem of the actual supply that's needed. That's like me saying I'm gonna give you $40,000 to go buy, you know what I'm saying, a Tesla truck, and you're like, yeah, and then you find out they only made 100 of them, like,
Right.
and a whole country got that $40,000. You think you're gonna get it for the same price it was? So it's just, you know, politics is just crazy like that, man. I just say focus on, like Killer Mike said, man, focus on local government. Vote for who you're gonna vote for on a national scale, but focus more on the local politics.
Right.
Um,
Yeah. There you have it, man. Because our cities is
yeah,
is so divided now. It's like, man, even more now. You know.
yeah. And then, like, even with politics and the media, like, we look at what's happening to Puffy, right? And I say what's happening to Puffy, not to say that he's innocent or whatever. I don't know what's what. We just got to be mindful as our community and as the hip hop culture, how we allow people to treat us in the justice system. So, like, when you think of them bringing up things like the Mann Act, you know what I'm saying? They used that against Jack Johnson because he would he would messing with all the white women, right? And it was like, it was immoral to take, it was it was considered illegal to take somebody across state lines for immoral reasons, right? So it's like, well, interracial dating or interracial relationships was immoral. So if you took your wife and she was white, if you took her across state lines, you know what I'm saying, you just broke the law of the Mann Act. So it's like, how does that even apply to uh Diddy's situation? So now we got to question, okay, is flying a chick out considered breaking the law of the Mann Act? You know what I'm saying? Or is that considered sex trafficking? So we got to be real careful, because it's they'll make him seem like a monster and use it against him, but that'll open a door to allow them to use that on Bob that work at Ford. You know what I'm saying? Because he got a little change and he met a chick on Instagram and he flew her out. And then they gonna say he was sex trafficking. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we just gotta be mindful of how things get twisted and how they apply it. But the bigger thing is just don't be an asshole out here. You know what I'm saying? Um, doing doing stuff like that to where you get caught up. That's first and foremost. But as the as the culture as a whole, we got to be mindful of what's being used against us and how it's
Mhm.
being used, because they'll take little pieces of that and dissect it and
Mhm.
then apply it to every, like with the Rico cases and all that stuff you see going on now. Like, okay, we was a rap crew, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Something happened, but now you're gonna tell me, you know what I'm saying? They hit us with the Rico, like, nah, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just crazy how that stuff can apply to us all of a sudden.
But sometimes we
So
leave a trail. Sometimes even like now they got songs about erase my IG live and all this old stuff. It's like, why even do all that shit on IG? Why even
why even put
you
it there? It's
know? It's you gotta be if you got some type of street smarts and some type of smarts in this game. Like maybe you have to retweet when you leave the spot. You go, you
but you
let.
know what, man, like it was the feds, they got access to all your deleted meta accounts. Everything you put up is never truly deleted. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So it's like it's one attorney I watch on YouTube, and his theme is his thing says stop self snitching, right? And
Mm.
he reviews all of these criminal cases with hip hop artists. He an old white dude, and he'll sit there and he'll be like, somebody is saying the song, I'm gonna spin the block. And then he'll pause and then he'll say, spin the block means you're gonna go ride down on your ops and shoot them. Like, he's breaking it down to suburban America, what the hip hop artists are saying, and then he's coming in and explaining the laws behind why this person got caught, how they got caught, and how the authorities use their songs and their social media against them. So it's
Right.
like, come on now, but that go back to what I was saying earlier. A lot of these dudes don't have a 50 or 60-year-old version of themselves to tell them, like, look, you know what I'm saying? We didn't we didn't have that when we was younger, so we didn't even have the opportunity to self snitch like that, right? But the peer pressure, your ego won't let you not show it sometimes.
Yeah. But at the same time, man,
So,
you gotta listen to the OGs sometime who really made it past the stuff. You ain't really got a dad or uncle around. Listen to somebody with some type of say, yo, even us coming up, man, me and my brother be cussing on the porch, and one of the neighborhood shooters can hear us and tell
right.
us, yo, stop cussing, niggas. Y'all, that little bad boy, stop cussing, man. You don't want your grandma. I'll tell your grandma to cuss. Y'all out here cussing, and it's not that anymore in life. Us trying to
But you
smoke
know what?
cigarettes
But
as
but you
kids.
know what? To be honest, man, some of what we considered the OGs, man, like I said
They
before,
failed
like
us. They-
some of them, they were street legends, but they was failures in life. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And then they come back. I remember dating this girl some years ago, and she came and asked me. I ain't gonna say the name of the crew, but um, she was like, yeah, you ever heard of such and such? And I'm like, yeah, that's like a crew from the 80s. She was like, my son running around here saying that. I'm saying, how he know about that? You know what I'm saying? This 20, we're in the late 2000s or whatever, right? And she said, yeah, his friend uncle just got out of jail, and he was telling him all these stories about what used to go on in the neighborhood. Now you got six dudes, young dudes, you know what I'm saying, between 13 and 16, Now they didn't reinvented the little name, you know what I'm saying? And it's like they want to be that now because the uncle came home and told all these war stories, and
Mhm.
it's like that's just a failure, you know what I'm saying? Now they don't even know what it's really about, but it's just like some of these dudes, man, they just like I said earlier, the dudes, they in their 50s, they out here, getting in between dudes that had issues back in the day, and they bringing them back up and instigating them. Like if I'm 20 years old and I'm seeing that, I don't want to follow that. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
right.
Like you didn't live your life, and the only thing you got to go on is all these old war stories, and then you instigating beefs from back in high school. Like that ain't what these young dudes want to see. Like they want somebody to pour into them and say, look, young man, this is how you know what I'm saying, little G or whatever, this is how you make it through. And this is what life looked like after 50 when you got your shit together,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, man. It's just influence what you we all got the same 24 hours, man. It's what you put in it and what you get out is everything. It's just influence, man. People see your weakness, they gonna capitalize on it. You know,
Yeah.
that's just what it is. It's like majority of our friends didn't have fathers and things. You gotta find something that if you're not hip to being a Mason or in a fraternity or sorority or find something to influence you in a positive way. you know.
Yep.
So that's just why I held on to hip hop because if dad ain't around at 247,
Yep.
find some
And
escape.
if you don't find nothing else, find yourself. You know what
That's
I'm
it.
saying? Like
That's
you
it,
find
man.
yourself, you know what I'm saying? But the only way to do that is you be around enough people in different circles. The same circle is gonna help form who you are. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? But if you get around enough circles and you experience things in life, like you travel outside of the country, not Cancun and just Jamaica, but like you get outside of the country, get outside of your neighborhood, get outside of
mm.
your
Go
state,
past 8
see how
Mile.
people live.
That's
Yeah, go past 8 Mile here in
hey,
Detroit.
I
I be
used to
meeting dudes
man.
16, they never
we-
been to Somerset.
Right. Please do that, man. Shit, we was caddying as kids and coming back to the hood, everybody selling crack. But just to see something
Right.
different, you gotta put your mind on another channel sometime. Don't wait till
Yeah,
it's too late. That's all. That's just it. You know, it's what you trick your mind and trick your funds and your energy too, man. You gotta be your own trick on your own confidence, and that's just what it is,
yeah,
bro. You know.
yeah,
But shout out to everybody tuning in. Shout out to Mr. Diplomat. We see you, man. Appreciate the support. Benny the Butcher and 38 Special and LL for the shout outs. You know what I'm saying? And y'all keep tuning in. The channel is booming. We still booming.
man. Mr. Diplomat should be. He probably gonna have Obama next or something, man. That boy, man, he be everywhere.
He see the
Like,
future, man. A lot of people don't have
yeah,
vision, So it's for him to see the vision without having $1 zillion every movie make from us, man. We we appreciate you, Mr. Diplomat, for real, bro. You know,
yeah. He get in the room. He be getting in the
he
rooms,
take
getting in the
over,
doors.
man.
I'm like, man,
Yeah. He a bum
yo,
rush Dave Chappelle security, like, yo, Butter need this, Funky Fresh, Ice Cube security,
they be,
move.
they be like, "Ooh." But yeah,
Shout
that's
out to
dope.
Mr. Diplomat, Ramo Visions, and man, everybody that's supporting and tuning in. We appreciate y'all supporting because we got some longevity with this thing. And it's not about to be no overnight shit. For real.
Yep, dope.
Shout out to
All
Hip
right,
Hop.
y'all. Funky Fresh in the flesh, and we out.
Who you voting for, Reg?
I'm voting.